Welcome back to the ETF Inspector. It is Friday, November 7th, 7 o'clock in the evening, and this is our daily recap video for the trades and holdings within the three YieldMax weekly paying funds that I cover: ULTY, the Ultra Option Income Strategy Fund; LFGY, the Crypto Industry Portfolio Option Income Fund; and SLTY, the Ultra Short Option Income Fund. Reminder, I'm on X at ETF_Inspector1. Follow me if you want a heads up on when videos are premiering, if you like to join the live chat, or just also if you want to catch distribution announcements as well. I also throw my my thank yous up on here when people use the buy me a coffee whatever link that's in the description. All right. If it sounds a little funny, I'm recording from my truck. I have, if anyone follows very often, I have 3 daughters. Well, they brought home 3 more teenage girls from school to spend the night, so it's craziness at my house, and I had to find somewhere to hide because not only would they be loud, but they would also think it would be funny to tease me and embarrass me in the middle of making the video. So I'm hiding outside in my truck, because I'm the man of the house. But all right, so looking at the market, big picture, it looked like another ugly day like yesterday, but things kind of turned around, and ULTY finished positive 0.66%. LFGY finishing positive 0.58%. And while SLTY thought they were going to have another good day, ended up down 0.88%. We'll look at the individual underlyings on our spreadsheet. But first, we're going to start with our trades. And if you saw on the thumbnail, ULTY made a couple of changes. They added Astera Labs, that's ALAB, to the fund. So they're now bought the shares. What's that, about $80-ish million worth, and start their collar strategy. They also closed out their position in Lucid Group, so we don't have Lucid anymore. All right, it's Friday, so every other day of the week we color code these orange if it's a complete closeout, and then we color code the other sheet on our holdings so we don't have to talk about the options. But it's Friday, we don't care about options because there's no market tomorrow or the next day, and we'll put out a week look ahead video this weekend. So this will just be, everything's going to be closing out and rolling the next week, other than if it's starting the new strategy on Astera Labs or closing out all the options to get rid of Lucid Group. So trading Affirm today, they had a credit of $811,000. Starting the new position in ALAB brought in a credit of $1.7 million. Cipher Mining had a credit of $4.1 million on the roll. Hims and Hers, $1.9 million credit rolling the next week. Iron brought in $9.4 million rolling their options to next week. Lucid Group closing out everything, as you can see, no SS, meaning sell short or sell to open. So that full closeout only cost $25,000. Lululemon, this is a put spread that they have, so they closed it and rolled it the next week. That cost $1.5 million, so Lululemon's price dropped beyond the sold strike on those put spreads. MP Material Corp brought in $1.3 million. Actually, I want to back up just a step. We'll leave it here so I know that we already said MP Material Corp, so we'll leave it on Palantir. Iron with $9.4 million. You know where I'm going with this. What brought in all the money? Selling of those protective puts. They had puts at 65 and 67 that brought in $8.8 million on the closeout. As you can see, buying to close the sold calls cost practically nothing, $50,000, bringing in $8.8 million, closing out these protective puts. Of course, they had to spend some of it to buy new puts for next week, but they're also going to bring in some income selling calls for next week. Okay, that's going to be the case for a lot of these. Palantir, $4.8 million credit on the roll. You can see over $4 million of it is the selling of that protective put. New Scale Power, that's crazy, $37 million credit on the roll. It's all coming from selling of these protective puts that were purchased. Well, I didn't mean to highlight that first one. That's a selling of a other end of a call spread. Brought in a ton of money on those great thing they did that, or that would have been that much more directly off of our share value. Soundhound brought in 11.3 million rolling to next week, and finally Symbiotic had a credit of 3.2 million. All in all, we brought in $74.3 million on the closeout and rolling of our options to next week. So very large positive as far as credits for options trading for the week. But we also closed out some positions, and I'm going to guess that Lucid was a loss. I don't want to spend too much time on this on a Friday video, but I feel like Lucid has been dropping. Why can't I find them? I feel like Lucid's been dropping ever since they got added to this fund. I don't know if they've had them for much more than a month, but it's been a 21% down month for Lucid. So that's probably going to eat up a ton of the profits that got made. All right, when we switch over and look at our holdings, again, we're not going to talk at all about how far the options are, because any option on this page that is for 11/7 has now been closed out and rolled, and we'll worry about everything for the 14th and beyond on our Sunday video. Affirm went up 11.6% today, though. That was nice. Cipher Mining dropped 4.7%. Coinbase up 4.7%. Core Weave down 2.7%. Galaxy was up. We don't own any shares, though. That just helped us with our options spread. Hims and Hers down 1.2%. Robinhood up 2.5%. Iron Limited was the big loser, $6.8 million drop in the share value. We sold all our shares of Lucid, so we don't care what they do. Lulu was up, but didn't come up enough to end up in the positive. And I would assume they probably closed those out earlier on in the day while everything was looking ugly, as opposed to much later in the day where they could have actually ended up winning the trades. All right, MP Material Corp, the big winner today, up 12.9%. The best part is it didn't take any of the options into the money, so they got to win the trades and get tons of value out of the share price. MSTR and Netflix are both just put spreads with no options. With no shares. MSTR up almost 2%. Netflix up 0.6%. Oklo just got added yesterday, and they went up 5.5% today. How would you like to make almost $3 million in the very first day you own something? Oracle down 1.8%. Again, no shares, just this put spread. Palantir up 1.6%. Quantum Computing down 2.2%. Rocket Lab up over 4%. NewScale Power down 6.5%. SoFi up 3.8%. SoundHound down 0.6%, and Symbiotic down 0.5%. So all in all, our share values increased by $6.9 million on the day. That's not a locked-in price or anything like that. That's just the overall value of our shares that we hold. We've got $2.1 billion in assets under management at the start of the day. Yesterday, people dumped this fund. 19,325,000 shares got sold out of the fund yesterday. So multiply that by like 450-ish to see like just how much. Call it 20 million. So $100 million worth came out yesterday. Outstanding shares, 465,725,000. You should have actually received your distribution yesterday. They're a Thursday payer, 7.88 cents per share. And ULTY closing around 458 for the day. Next, we've got LFGY. No exchanging of shares in any case. It was just all options closeouts and rolls to next week. So BitDeer brought in $165,000. Cipher Mining, $175,000 credit. Core Scientific brought in $168,000. iShares Ethereum Trust ETF brought in $137,000 on the roll. iBit brought in $185,000. NU Holdings had a credit of $146,000. I think it's SharpLink Gaming. SBet. Yep, SharpLink Gaming. $121,000 credit, and XYZ or Block had $105,000 credit. So they won all their trades. That brought in $1.2 million on the trading day, and their share values increased by $1.9 million. So again, they had no losing days as far as trading options, but that generally means you had a down week, which they did. All right, we switch pages. Look at our holdings. Bullish was up 1.1%. Bitmine Immersion, the big winner, up 7.5%. BitDeer up 3.6%. Cipher Mining down 4.7%. CleanSpark was up 1.1%. Coinbase up 4.7%. Core Scientific down 1.9%. Circle Internet Group up 3.1%. iShares Ethereum Trust up 4.76%. That's a pretty large move for that fund. Galaxy Digital up 3.8%. GameStop up 0.6%. Robinhood up 2.5%. Hut 8 Corp up 2.8%. iBit, iShares Bitcoin Trust ETF up 2.8%. So that's surprising that iBit moving at about half the rate of Ethereum. Mara down 0.5%. MBTX was up. We just don't track the percentage change since we don't own shares. Mercado Libre down 0.9%. Strategy up just about 2%. NU Holdings down 0.5%. Nvidia up a fraction, 7 cents. Opera was up 1.3%. PayPal was down 6/100ths or 4 cents. And we should note that yesterday PayPal trading within LFGY switched from a covered call strategy to a put spread, selling a put credit spread. Riot down 1.9%. SharpLink Gaming up 7%, and Block was the big loser, down 7.6%. That's how you had a $1.9 million increase in the value of the shares within your fund. Assets under management at the start of the day, $217 million. People bought the dip yesterday on LFGY, adding 75,000 shares to the outstanding shares, bringing it up to 6,725,000. NAV at the start of the day, 32.40, closing around 32.58, and we all got 55.25 cents per share yesterday, hopefully for you guys. I got it yesterday. All right, and finally, SLTY. We had some changes in SLTY as well. So Applied Digital was already in the fund, so is Energy Fuels, so they just started shorting some more shares of that. Then they closed out their short on Qualcomm, Robinhood, and Expedia, so those are no longer in the fund anymore. And they added, new to the fund, they started shorting Lumentum Holdings and Ouster and Uniqure. They also shorted some more shares on SanDisk and Credo that are already in the fund as well. Trading wise, so they sell puts. Since they're shorting funds, they sell puts to generate income, and since everything ended up going down all week, their put strikes are going to get blown through on the downward movement, causing them to have to pay to close out. So Applied Digital, they cost them $57,000. BitDeer cost $9,000. Credo brought in $22,000. Carvana had a credit of $8,000. Enphase Energy cost $18,000. Closing out of Expedia brought in $53,000. Closing out of Hood cost $76,000. IonQ cost $54,000 on the roll. Light is one of the new ones. I think that was Lumentum Holdings. That brought in $18,000 as they started the reverse collar strategy on those shorted shares. Nebius Group cost $74,000. Ouster brought in $13,000. Qualcomm closeout cost $19,000. Unicure brought in $24,000. Reddit cost $36,000. Riot cost $75,000. SanDisk brought in $19,000, and Energy Fuels brought in $11,000. For a total loss on the trading day of $250,000. They basically lost every day except for Monday that they did not make trades, but that's going to happen when you're shorting shares and selling puts and prices are dropping. So on each day, for the most part, things moved in their favor, just not today or on the small bounce on Wednesday. Okay, so we've already talked about everything that's being shorted in the fund. We really don't care what they did. Obviously, there's not that many people even invested in this, so we'll just go through quickly. The biggest loser was Enphase Energy, only down 3%. The biggest gainer, Expedia, up 17.5%. So that hurts a lot when something goes up and you've been shorting it. That's why it dropped the value of the fund, and vice versa. If something goes down, it helps the value. All right, there's 21 million in assets under management, 550,000 outstanding shares. NAV started at 38.56 and dropped to around 38.32. If you are in this fund, I am not. You received 53.56 cents per share yesterday. Okay, that's all I've got for you. Keeping things short and sweet on this Friday. Again, keep an eye out. So videos coming out this weekend. I do my own personal account video every Saturday morning. I'm hoping I can get that recorded tonight and put out in the morning. I try to get the $1 billion club. That's Coney, Misty, NVIDIA, and Tesla week look ahead and payment guesstimate video. I'll try to get that out by Saturday evening, and then we will have a ULTY, SLTY week look ahead and guesstimate video, and an LFGY and blocks. I combine those two together for the week look ahead and payment guesstimate videos. Other than that, that's going to be the end of it. So hope you guys have a good weekend. I've got a dad joke of the day for you to make you laugh on the way out. And thank you all for all the support. All right, dad joke of the day. What do you call two guys above a window? Kurt and Rod. Kurt and Rod. All right, thank you. Good night. Catch you in the next video.